Welcome back to Power BI Snippet. This is video number 6. In today's topic, we are going to see how to work with a relationship and what do you mean by cardinality and what is mean by cross filter references in Power BI desktop. In today's session, it's going to be a little of theory will be there, and I will even touch the logic of DAX functionality and how to use them, and how to create a new column and how to create a measure in Power BI desktop. So this is what we are about to learn in today's video. Let's see how to do that. So when I normally go for a join, so Power BI works kind of a SQL Server's logic. So if you see on the left hand side of my screen, you have two different tables here, query number 1 and query number 2. And if you are merging these two queries together, you have outer, inner, and anti-joint. In the outer joint, you can see the left outer joint and right outer joint and full joint outer. And you can see that anti left and right and anti or an inner left joint will be shown in here. So when I try to add an outer left joint, you can see all my data belong to my left table will be appearing on the right hand side. You get a blank space for the left outer part. If I do the right, then I will get all the right table, but on the left hand side, whatever the new field that is there, that will be displayed. If it is a full, it's going to show all the data for us. Wherever we have a data uh, which is not matching with one another, will give a blank field. Anti-joint is going to give you from the left table and the right table. And finally, when you go for inner table or inner left table, it's going to give you the data which is there available in your list, where the data are available in both the tables will exist in your left inner joint. I'll make a small example kind of with the same data, but I just want to just give you a small idea how it's going to work for us here. And once we go forward from now on, we'll be seeing a lot of data queries and data management and so on. So the first logic of the relationship is this. So probably you can just go through this once, and I will give you a video on this table itself in Power BI Desktop. But before I do that video, so let me just give you an idea about the next logic called cardinality and cross filter direction. When I say cardinality, it is nothing else the type of relationship that I can able to build in Power BI Desktop. So normally there will be two different varieties of doing them, one to many and many to one. So now we can see that I have a table on the left and I have a table on the right. If I connect the table from the left to right, it is going to be one to many. If I'm going to keep the uh, table on the other way around, where the order comes as a left table and the customer is in the right table, then you can see that it is many to one. So the reason why is the customer table that we are having in here is a dim table, where you don't have a duplicate value on your customer ID, but on the right hand side the order IDs have uniqueity, but the same customer orders the product more than one time. So if that is the case, then I'll have a many to one relationship. Sometimes I will be connecting two dimension table together. So I'll be having only one field on both the data. When I combine them together, I get one to one as the cardinality. So when I go down to the logic of the differences, then I will end up in getting in two different descriptive part. I have one software called Power BI Desktop, which has two different way of getting things done. One is M language in Power Query editor, or I can use a DAX functionality. We are about to see how to work with a DAX functionality, but before we go down into the deep down part of DAX functionality, we should understand how I can use the DAX function to create the following data. So when I create a formula or a normal formula between the first, second, for last column with the previous column or multiple columns that I have here, if I create results for each and every row, then I term that point as calculated column. Wherein if I'm creating a aggregate calculation for the same, then I will be calling that as calculated measures. So today we will see how to build them all with the help of simple DAX functions if it is belong to two different tables, or else I don't even use the DAX functions at all. I'll be using the calculated column and the calculated measures. Later I can show you how the data is going to work for us. So let's jump back to our list and see these theoretical logic in a practical pattern. So the first logic that I'm going to do right now is I'm going to use this data. This is a small Excel data file that I have, which transforms around 2000 line item. So you can see I have a different set of people out there, and then the region is there, different set of people who sell the product, different customer buys it, the product name is given, and the valuation of that which I buy the product, and you can see the sale value also. And I have table from 17/6/2004 to 16/6/2006. So I have around roughly 2 years of data with me. Now I'm going to import only the F transaction table. It is a fact table, and I'm not going to bring the next sheet into play. The reason why is the same sheet is given in a shorter pattern. So let's come back to our Power Query, and this is a data which is a little proper. So far I've used a transform data tab to import data once the data is proper. So we don't want to use the transform data anymore. I'm going to use the get data and feed the data into my Power BI desktop. So I'm going to go back to my desktop and take the raw data. So now I'm just adding the data into it, and for the first time we are about to learn these icons to its best possible way. So we never gone to these icons earlier. So for the first time in our Power BI snippet YouTube channel, we are going to see how to work with the data in here. So now my data are loaded. So how do you say that it is loaded? When I go to my field list, once the data are loaded, you can see them very clearly. It is loaded. So now actually it is not loaded yet. Now it's going to show you the two sheets that I've added here. So I'm going to add this sheet, and you can see a preview before I even load it. So I'm going to just load it because the data are perfect so far. Once this data is loaded, then I will go to the data tab where I can add multiple columns for a visualization. As I showed you earlier, my data had only purchase and sales. It never had a profit nor a profit percentage. If I want to just get a dashboard where I want to just figure out how things are going on, so I can create that. So now when I go down to this point, now you can see that I have a set of data here, which is date, customer, product, purchase, region, sales, and sales. I can create a list here, but when I create a list here, I can only give an answer for a purchase and sales. What I want is I want a profit here. I want to go profit for the sales rep, profit for the product, profit for the customers, or profit by year. I can set around 5 to 6 different data here, but I need a profit column here. If you want this profit column, you can either take this data to a transform data and create an M language formula, or I can just take the DAX functionality to do it. I'm going to do everything and anything on the Power BI desktop itself. So I'm going to go back to the left hand side icons. Instead of selecting the report icon, I'm going to use the second option called data. When I click this, it automatically takes you to the data part for me, and it's going to show my data here one by one. Now I want only the date here to be in a simpler format. If you want to change any data type here, you can definitely do that. So when I clicked it here, you can see that it is showing a customer name, and then it shows the data type. When I click this, you can see wherever I place the cursor, it's going to show you that customer point. When I come down to here, it shows the date type correctly, but again, the date format was way too early. So I want you to just make this as a date. So I can change any of these dates, so whatever I feel it is perfect. So I'm going to click 14th March and the year. So now the dates are changed here. So now you can see the dates coming in a list here. So when I go back to my sales here, you can see it's showing a decimal portion. If you want to make them as currency, you can change that to a currency. And then I'm going to add the next sheet and then convert that also as currency. So automatically this will add the currencies to you. If you are specific about a particular currency, you can change that. So if you want, now it shows an currency for me called dollar. If I want any specific currencies than this, then I can choose them. So if I'm going to give an INR here, I can just say INR here to do that. So change the currency to INR now. Yes, but again, it's not looking that good. So let me put it as the dollar itself. If you are creating a separate column for us, so how do I do that? So when I use a Windows 7 edition of OS, then I will be seeing the current slab. I can either choose a new column, which is there available for me in here, which can write a DAX expression for us, or I can go to the table field and see all of them here. I can create a new measure, new column, or a brand new table. So I'm going to create a new column here that allows me to add a new column, and I'll ask you, what do you want to do in a column? You can name this column. So I'm going to just find out the profit. I'm going to say equals. Now I want to call for the sales, and I'm going to minus that with a purchase. So I'm going to give a box bracket so that you can see all the fields related to this table. Then I'll move the cursor to the sales minus, and then I'm going to give a purchase here, tab, and give an enter. Now I got all my purchase breakup, and you can see automatically it's going to give you a list. Again, the datas are not specific here. So when I go back to my columns, I can see how the datas are given here. It is in general tab. I'm going to convert this into currency tab. So now I want to add one more column here, and I want to find out the profit percentage for the same. So I can just click the new column here and then add the profit percentage. So I'm going to just say percentage of profit equals, then I'm going to just say tab. Now, whatever the new column I've added earlier, now you can see that that column is also added to my list. Then I'm going to just use the sales. Now what I can do is, instead of using a normal direct mathematical calculation, I can use a DAX functionality is called divide. This is one of the math and trigonometry function that we have in DAX functions. We will get to know about the DAX functions even better. So my numerator is going to be my profit, and I'm going to give a comma, and then I'm going to give the denominator as my sales. When I give a comma, or I can just see the alternative results. So now I don't want that. Give an enter, I get my percentage. But again, my percentage will comes in a decimal portion here. So I'm going to convert that into a normal data. So I'm going to place the cursor here and change this format to a percentage. Sometimes the percentage line item will be more here. So you can see that I have two decimal portions automatically given to me. You can see that is there available for me. Now I'm ready with the data part. So in some cases, I have a lot of data here. So you can see that I have 4 data and 5 data are coming up here. So let me click the profit, and it's instead of auto, I'm going to give 2. So the currencies with 2 decimal portion will be a far better option for us. So instead of giving the logic of 4, I can give a 2 here, so that you can see that now the currency is giving only 2 answers for all of our list. So now I made the 2 columns. I've created 2 calculated column for our list. One I've used a normal math. The second one I've used a DAX functionality to get the things done. Now I'm going to go back to my visualization and add a visualization here. So when I add these visualization, you can see that I have 2 more new fields that is added to my list: profit and percentage of profit. So this is one of the fine component. Now I can add 2 or 3 visualizations. I'm going to add 3 visualizations today. So one on the bar chart. I'm going to add customer wise profit. You can see that here. So these are my customers, and then I have a profit here, and I'm going to just add data label to it. And if I want them as a table, I can just convert this into a normal table. So that's going to give you a list of what are the sales that we did. So I think that I have had 2 new customers in my list from my complete list of customers. So let me put all of them as a matrix. So I'm going to add one more matrix here. This time I'm going to add sales rep wise profit. And I'm going to add one more matrix here. And I'm going to call this as year wise profit. When I go to year wise profit, it's going to give a lot of data for me. So I want only the year here, because when I add it, it's going to give you the breakup of all of them. You can see the hierarchy that comes in here. You can see the dates are given in a hierarchical component for us. I want a yearly sales, then I can uncheck all the data which I don't want to see. So now you can see that year wise sales is what, or the profit is what. If you want a quarter, month, and other components, so I'm going to just click this, copy, and then paste. I can drag it here, and I'm going to just uncheck the year and check the quota. So when I do that again, then valuations will jump here and there. Then I can just add the profits here on the quarter basis. Again, it gives you the quota for the whole list. I can add a year and quarter. Probably that will give you a better edge for me. So let me just uncheck all of them: year, quarter, and then list. So I can see how the year and quarters are span out and how it is gone. And then I can add, if I want one more column here, I can add a profit percentage also. The profit percentage is showing in a bigger numbers as it is accumulating it. So it's better to keep it in a profit point. So now it's perfect. And I would like to add year, quarter, and month. So anyway, I'm adding the same logics again. So year, quarter, month, and profit. So month wise, what is the profit that I made? So this is a little data which is a little larger than normal. So I'm going to just drag this and make it here. So now I got the new fields, and I've used that field to create multi-dimensional data here. I didn't use the region or the products here because the regions are very small here and the product is too large to see as a report. So that's the only reason why I didn't use the product and the region. So now you got a different kind of report, not a visualization anymore. It's a tabular form where you can see that exactly what was the sale and how it is done in here. In today's part, we have just learned what is a relationship, and we just learned it theoretically. We never applied it yet. So in my next video, I'll show you how to apply the relationship between two tables, and I'm going to teach you one more dimension right now on this logic, that is called how to create a new table using a DAX functionality. So with this, I'll end our session or this particular video, and you are watching Power BI Desktop, no more series, video number 6. You got a small idea about what is the relationship and cardinality, and how to import a data, and how to create a calculated column, and how to provide a report out of it. This is Vinod signing out from Power BI Snippet, your Power BI one-stop shop for all your DAX learnings. Thank you so much.